Hey everyone, I hope that you are doing well. I hope you had a nice weekend and that your week is off to a good start. Unfortunately, the weather outside's not quite as nice as it was last week, but we'll have to make do. Um, let's see, we're halfway through Unit 5, so I just wanted to check in about where we're at with things. I did finish reading the reading responses this morning. So if you missed completing the reading responses either on Twitter or on the discussion board, remember you can choose either or at this point. You still have the opportunity to do that for credit. I just read them this morning, so the feedback is there or the scoring is there for you if you've completed those. And remember that I give you a score in the gradebook here in Brightspace. But I give you feedback by responding to you either on Twitter or on the discussion board, and hopefully we can keep a little bit of conversation going about the guiding question for this unit. Our guiding question has to do with Cold War foreign policy and reactions to revolution. So we're thinking about how U.S. responses to the Cold War, to the notion that communism was a threat that was spreading in the hemisphere, how those kinds of ideas impacted the ways that the United States still kept its rhetoric of promoting democracy around the world and protecting the quote-unquote free world, while at the same time actually supporting very violent military dictatorships that committed grave atrocities against their people across the region in Latin America. And so we're thinking about the problems with that and how that kind of situation and the actions of American policymakers, along with military figures and elites in Latin America, led to abuses of civil rights and of human rights. The last chapter, when we read Rigoberta Menchú and we start working on our final projects, I said chapter, I meant unit, unit 6. So what we get to next week, we're going to think about the ways in which Latin American peoples, whether they be the Quiché Maya, like Rigoberta Menchú, or other Mayan groups like the Cachiquel, or other indigenous peoples, Quechua, in the Andes, on and on and on, how indigenous people are trying to bring torturers to account in many ways. There are truth and reconciliation commissions across Latin America, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s, to try to bring to light the atrocities that were committed in order for those societies to move forward in some way. And so we're talking about then in Unit 5, the period of those atrocities, what happened and how it happened, so that then next time we can get into that other question. This week, we've now completed the reading responses, so what we're going to be doing is not the timeline assignment as usual. So usually we would do the timeline assignment. Instead, you're going to be doing the humanities assessment. I noticed that a couple of you have already submitted, and that is awesome. So again, that will take the place of the timeline assignment. You'll do the assessment and a journal this week to round out Unit 5. Remember, the assessment actually has nothing to do with our class. It has to do with measuring humanities skills, such as critical thinking and reasoning and the ability to express a well-reasoned and supported argument. Make sure that you submit your work via that form. So you should click a link. That's where you get the instructions for what to do in the first place, is on that Microsoft form. And submit your work there. That's where the assessment will be kept for institutional purposes here at CNM. And I will get a record of everyone that has submitted that, whether or not you also additionally submitted in Blackboard. Man, what a day. Brightspace. I was hearkening back to better times in the past, I guess. So please let me know if you have any questions about that assessment, how to complete it, how to submit it, and so on. If you have questions about the journal, I'm going to offer an extra credit opportunity in the activity feed below. So on the homepage of our course in Brightspace, At the bottom, there is an activity feed where I often share links to Radio Ambulante episodes or different things like that. Today, the National Security Archive out of George Washington University posted an article and some documents about the rise of the military dictatorship in Argentina and what American policymakers and diplomats knew and when, in terms of their complicity with helping, or at least not preventing, the military dictatorship to rise there, to fill the power vacuum after Perón had died and his wife Isabel had taken power. So I'll give you again, it's an extra credit opportunity if you want to take advantage of it, an activity around reading those and commenting on those. So look for that in the activity feed if you're interested. All right. Hope you're having a good Tuesday, and I'll talk to you soon.